All right. This video is called Cocomelon, the most evil channel on YouTube. It's been made by SunnyV2, and it's been so crazy, the title, that I watched like a few seconds of this, and the title or the intro was so crazy that I wanted to watch this with you guys. So without further ado, let's get into it.
My son is almost 2 and I've been letting him watch Cocomelon, but now I had to get him speech therapy so I can get him to talk. There are hundreds and hundreds of anecdotes in which parents mention the exact same problem. The Cocomelon show is so insanely addictive, it's being compared to nicotine and causing developmental issues amongst the kids who can't stop watching. Children's TV.
I don't get this. Because I've never seen Cocomelon. Cocomelon was like, after me, obviously, like after my childhood. My thoughts are like, I never knew anything about Cocomelon except that it was supposed to be like, helping kids learn and stuff like that in their toddler years. But actually, look, the show is highly overstimulating and is very likely to result in behavioral and attention disorders. Score 32 out of 100. What is this from? Wildflowers Children's TV Review. Huh. Never heard of them.
Expert Jerica Sands calls it the most damaging show a child can watch, explaining the sneaky ways in which they make the show addictive. Firstly, there's the colors. Take for example the wheels on the bus. The three main colors, blue, green and yellow, are all at maximum saturation, meaning they cannot be made any brighter no matter how hard you try. Extreme saturation is normally used for alerts and notifications, as it's exciting, dynamic and attracts attention, which is why it's also used in slot machines.
Oh. That actually makes sense, what they do with slot machines. But my thought is, okay, this boss doesn't look like it would be like max saturation. Where's some of this grass? But also, hold on, doesn't like most like children's shows kind of do that kind of stuff? This also does not look like max saturation.
And puts these colors in perfect contrast, making them appear even more vibrant, which is different to, for example, Bluey, in which the colors instead blend together. Cocomelon's also different because it's highly repetitive. There's a reason they have 38 videos with over 1 billion views.
Holy shit!
There's a reason they have 30
$3.2 billion, 3.1 billion, 2.1 billion, 2.1 billion. These guys must be making bank in like YouTube ad revenue. Actually, it's probably in like YouTube Kids. I don't know how any of that works. Seriously. How? What? These guys, no, these guys are definitely making bank. I'm actually very, okay, I'm already sidetracked. I'm gonna look this up. How much? I'm pushing every wrong button. How much does make? Approximately $120 million a year. From the Wall Street Journal. Damn. I knew Cocomelon was big for kids. I didn't know it was this big. Holy crap. I should make kids shows.
Create videos with over 1 billion views. A child's brain is wired to learn through repetition, so it feels right to them to watch the same thing over and over again. Cocomelon abuses this in almost every video. For example, in the Yes Yes Playground song, they pick a word to repeat 3 times in every sentence, pairing it with a subtly repeating background lullaby, keeping children hooked. Literally no show or movie puts my son into a deep trance the way Cocomelon does. The second it's on the TV, he turns into a toddler zombie who doesn't see or hear anything else that's going on in the room. This is only exacerbated by Cocomelon's subtitles, which have also been a heavy point of criticism. The letters are not educational, I can barely read them fast enough.
These are not an educational barrier. It's simply another interesting element. One thing I'm wondering is how does this compare to other like children's shows? I know, like, for me as a kid, I definitely, if it's constantly repeating, that's definitely different for me as a kid. Because, and the same is with old show or with saturation and stuff. Back in like the early 2000s and in the 90s, saturation was definitely not a max. In fact, back then, it wasn't even 3D. 3D actually started coming out, or shows started coming out in like the later 2000s. I think it's, with their, I don't know, uh, later 2000s, like in the noughties, I mean. And to my knowledge, it definitely did not do like the constant repeating. It was a catchy song and stuff like that, where they get their attention, you know, or the same song every episode or something like Blue's Clues. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. But of course, also in Blue's Clues, it definitely wasn't Mac. Though it did use pretty bright colors, except for Blue himself. I think was like a skyish blue, like a light blue.
It's simply another interesting element to capture your little one's attention. Cocomelon explains in every description, our goal is to help make learning a fun and enjoyable experience for kids, giving you the peace of mind that your children are receiving quality educational content. But people have argued that they're teaching exactly what children shouldn't do. For example, in the No No Bedtime song, the baby refuses to brush his teeth, have a bath, put on pajamas, or get in bed. The education is that he eventually agrees to do so, yet a TikTok user was critical, stating, anytime I'd ask my son to do a simple task, he'd say no, no, no. He's sitting there watching Cocomelon.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to actually teach a kid anything. It's going to teach a kid to refuse, not to accept. You- it's not helping. Anyone could see that.
Which taught him no, no, no.
Of course, a lot of their content's probably, I gotta say, probably is coming from a quota. They have to get a certain quota out every day and whatnot. So, they try coming up with the most obscure lesson. I don't watch any of I obviously don't watch any of the Cocomelon, so I have really no idea what the shows are, or what the episodes is. And I'm not going to for obvious reasons because I'm not a toddler. At least I might have the mental age of one or something. I probably don't. I'm not Markiplier.
And to say no to me. On the topic of education, Jerica Sands stated, these people don't give a shit about our children.
Of course they don't give a shit.
About money. That's it. Your child's cognitive development in direct exchange for their wealth, and there's pretty good evidence supporting this.
What? Of course they don't give a crap. No, everything marketed towards kids. They don't really care about the kids. You think You really think that they make Mickey Mouse shows for the kids? Do you really think they make children's toys for kids? For because of the kids or for the kids? Well, I mean, they make it for the kids, but the reason why they're doing it is because they can make money.
A New York Times journalist visited Cocomelon's studio, discovering their #1 focus is keeping children hooked. Cocomelon's data and analytics team sifts constantly through YouTube numbers to determine exactly what resonates. Should a girl wear black jeans or blue jeans? Should the music be louder or softer? Should the bus be yellow or red? Yellow is the answer, as they use a darker method to ensure that they're correct. Cocomelon has a dedicated Distractotron room, in which once a month children are brought here one at a time and shown a handful of episodes to figure out exactly which parts of the shows are engaging and which are tuned out. Next to the TV playing Cocomelon, there's a second screen which plays a continuous loop of banal real-world scenes. A guy pouring a cup of coffee, someone getting a haircut, each lasting about 20 seconds. Whenever a youngster looks away from the Moonbug show to glimpse the Distractotron, a note is jotted down. We can see what they're looking at and the exact moment when they got distracted. Therefore, education clearly isn't the primary goal.
Oh no, definitely. It's never. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I don't even see like other evil corporations like Disney going to that extent. I mean, I'm sure they do like have a viewer and like how they try keeping their attention or something similar, but I don't think they go to this extent. Otherwise, their content will be more addictive and more popular for the kids. It'll also make them more money. This is more like some government mind control experiments. Yeah, imagine if it was. I don't even know. Where is Cocomelon? I know it's not is it American? I don't think it is American. I don't think it's company. For some reason, I think it's Australian, but I don't know. Look that up as well. My desk is full of crap. It's good for streaming, bad for stream. My setup is good for streaming games, not for reaction content. Oh, it's Southern California. I was wrong. I think I'm thinking of a different corporation that was like literally copying Cocomelon scene by scene. I tried clicking my OBS to try starting the movie.
Keeping kids' attention is, and this is proven by Cocomelon's most addictive element, rapid camera cutting. It's crazy how many times the frame changes on Cocomelon. It's the same type of addicting behavior that we experience on a TikTok binge. It's the quick change of frame that releases that dopamine and makes the videos addicting to watch. Count the seconds between a change of frame. Well, TikToker the Circus Brain did exactly this. He firstly counts the changes on My Little Pony, concluding there's about 6 seconds between each cut. He then compares it to Cocomelon.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
In her video, The Nightmare That Is Cocomelon, Savantix draws a similar conclusion. She found that 96% of the shots in Baby Shark were shorter than 2 seconds. She then
I'm learning a bit from these videos, from this. I never thought or knew about, I never thought about that. The dopamine effect from scrolling through TikTok and how they're using that same dopamine effect by changing a frame in the camera, or is it changing the POV, the camera? What was the word they used? Maybe it is frame. I don't know. There are plenty of kids shows that are good at the same. Yeah, I mean, I don't even like know if like the shows are even that educational anymore, because back in the 90s and 2000s, uh is the most of my knowledge of kids shows pretty much. Um Educational shows were a big thing. I mean, we had Go Diego Go, we had Dora the Explorer, we had uh, Blue's Clues, and there was Max and Ruby that also taught about morality and something like that. It's been a long time since I watched Max and Ruby. I don't remember much about that. Um, now I don't know what they do. I think I don't think they do nearly as much as what they do now than they compared back into the noughties.
Then compares 4 different animated shows, again finding Cocomelon has the shorter shots.
The longest shot on a Cocomelon video was 6 seconds. The longest shot on Arcane was 8 seconds. The longest shot on Bluey was 27 seconds. And the longest shot on Encanto was 18 seconds.
Which when combined with every other element
Okay, that's not really a good comparison. You should do the average. I mean, longest shot, sure, okay, but wouldn't it be better just to show the average?
Seconds. And the longest.
I never watched Lazy Town as a kid. I do know that the one villain dude passed away, unfortunately, back in like 2018, I think.
Longest shot on Encanto was 18 seconds.
which when combined with every other element, creates some terrifying statistics. Dr. Kristen Summer explained that when showing an infant normal video content, they'll focus on the screen just 11% of the time. However, when the video is instead switched to Cocomelon, their screen engagement skyrockets to a whopping 74%. This therefore produces stories such as this. I used to volunteer for a preschool and they had song time. A Cocomelon video came on, and all of the tots stopped what they were doing, put down their cheese crackers, and remained fixated on the screen for the duration of the video. It was honestly kind of terrifying. YouTuber Saberspark shared his own
It is brainwashing. They're literally brainwashing them. They are literally brainwashed. What the hell? Oops. I also wanted to read this bottom comment. Bluey seems to be a really good show for kids.
Produces stories.
From what I've seen, it seems to promote playing outside after watching the episodes. Kids could use a similar scenario to what they watched while being outdoors. Honestly, kids need to be outdoors more than they are watching TV or YouTube. Is Cocomelon even on TV? Or is it just a YouTube? I don't know. I'm not gonna look it up. I keep stopping them
I used to volunteer for a preschool and they had song time. I
Listen to this.
and remained fixated on the screen for the duration of the video. It was honestly kind of terrifying. YouTuber Saberspark shared his own personal anecdote. He asked to watch a Disney movie with his 2 younger cousins, who both completely refused, and instead spent all day glued to an iPad playing the addictive show. In Cocomelon Made My Kid a Zombie, a mother talks about her son. He would be in a daze while watching it. You could be waving your hand right in front of his face and he wouldn't move. It was almost scary. This was also discovered by Sarah Mills 98.
Oh, my AV broke. Now I'm afraid that I'm watching TV. Oh. This is like some dystopian sci-fi. This is literally some dystopian sci-fi type shit. Like, the thing is, they tried doing song time earlier. Or I explained how they're trying to do song time earlier. The kids didn't do any song time. They just watched the TV. They put down like their cheese and crackers. They just watched the TV. They didn't do anything else. They didn't sing along, I think. I could be wrong. They probably just... But the way that made it sound, at least, is they didn't sing along. They just watched the TV, addicted to it. What the hell?
Who explain when the Cocomelon addiction is so real that my 1-year-old can navigate the TV to turn it on by himself. However, nothing shows the addiction better than the Cocomelon TikTok trend. Parents will play the show's intro loudly and video their kids sprinting toward the television, where you can witness their mood change instantly. The New York Times journalist found something similar. The kid in the Distractotron had shown up in the midst of a tantrum, which ended the second he heard the Cocomelon theme song. It was no surprise to Wheeler, the head of research. 99% of kids, he said, if they're having issues when they get here, once that Cocomelon song comes on, they're like, life is okay. All is good with the world.
What the hell is this? I'm more scared of like the long time effects of this. Will this like translate to like their teenage years? Would they have the same effect? What if like Cocomelon becomes so like powerful that literally it can control the entire population of the world? Just show it to their kids and they're set for the rest of their life.
Obviously, there's a
Hey, it's Easy Ender. Hey, bunny. Doesn't? Yeah.
reason for this. Cocomelon is so hyper-stimulating that it actually acts as a drug, and what happens when you take the drug away. Young children experiencing symptoms of addiction and withdrawal, obviously leaving them completely dysregulated. TikTok user TheOff1 filmed what happens when you take the show away, explaining he'll be inconsolable for at least 10 to 15 mins after, adding in the description, Cocomelon meltdown is legit. Once you have a taste of the cocoa, it's hard to break the addiction, which this Reddit user had experienced even worse. My husband—
Then why are you continuing to show it? Actually, I don't know. Wait. Actually, you know what? I just thought about, will this actually literally cause withdrawal? Like, I mean, they said a little bit of withdrawal, like complaining and stuff like. I mean, like full on, like need to be hospitalization withdrawal. I mean, I can't imagine why not. And you can't just like. Gosh. I don't even know what to say.
And I have been worried about our child. I can slowly see how she'd throw violent tantrums at home and in church whenever she'd get bored and would want to watch the show. Her behavior changes the moment she watches the show, and she will not even eat her meals if she wouldn't watch it. After these tantrums end, kids can experience a general discomfort in the speed of everyday life. The more they watch the show, the more their brain begins to expect this intense level of stimulation.
Basically,
So it's going into the
Cocomelon
withdrawal.
overstimulates their brains so much that everything else just seems slow and boring in comparison.
However, the potential consequences get much worse than this. As mentioned at the start, it was the cause of a child's speaking problems, with a notable reply reading, "Same thing happened with my daughter too. She's 4 but can't speak properly. She knows the words, but she does not like to frame the sentence or speech. She has been watching these Cocomelons or such other stuffs for 2 or 3 years. Hope we're not too late." Over on Reddit, a speech-language pathologist explained, "Screen time in general is linked with speech delays for a variety of reasons, but Cocomelon is excessively bad. Firstly, unlike other TV shows or movies, it doesn't have a story. It's just very short clips with poorly written songs. The kids aren't able to follow the plot, learn vocabulary, and see the resolution of a conflict supported by infant specialist Meg Fora."
And
You know what? I'm not gonna have kids. I thought I thought Disney was evil. What the hell is this? I know, like, he's also, like, turning up the drama on it, because that's what they all do. But at the same time, he's still laying out some key issues. If it's... I never thought you would need to actually have to put a regulation on how quick a scene can change, or the average scene change of a kid's show, because I never thought that might be a thing. But apparently that's what we're going to have to do. We have... You know what they should do? I think an idea to slowly, like... Here's an idea. To slowly get your child off of that dopamine effect, start slowing down, like, the YouTube video. Maybe that will help. Don't this is not official advice, but maybe that will just help, because it's changing. It will low... You know what? 2 things, actually. 1, this also could just really backfire and the kid goes into, like, full under withdrawal. Right, will the kid go into withdrawal? I don't really know. I'm not like a biologist. I know, like, with drugs and stuff, they will go into withdrawal and effects. I can't imagine they won't go into withdrawal, or at least in some cases. But start slowly slowing down the video, maybe slowly turning down the saturation on the screen, and then present that to your kids so it becomes more boring for them. Maybe that will help. Like, don't do it all at once, because that might have all issues. Of course, this is just an idea, not official advice. I gotta say, not medical advice. Don't listen to what I'm saying.
the problem with fast-paced TV programs is that we find that little one's language development is slower.
On the Agents of Speech YouTube channel, this is again confirmed.
The main problem with watching videos on the internet is that they don't know how to use the language that they learn.
But he adds that 4 to 5 hours of screen time per day can make a toddler completely non-verbal. 4 to 5 hours is obviously a lot of time, but in Cocomelon Made My Kid a Zombie, researchers discovered that 5-year-olds who watch more than 2 hours of TV a day tended to have lower attention attention spans and were 7.7 times more likely to show symptoms of ADHD. These screen times might be even lower for Cocomelon specifically because, as explained by Jerica Sands, not all screen time is created equal. A child who just watched 30 minutes of Cocomelon and a child who just watched 30 minutes of Trash Truck will look like a very, very different child. Thankfully, here lies a simple solution. Sierra Renee explained, my 2-year-old is speech delayed and addicted to Cocomelon. Switched to Miss Rachel 2 days ago and he's already saying more words and hasn't had any tantrums. Kim.it shared an almost identical anecdote. My 8-month-old was obsessed with Cocomelon and having bad tantrums, so I cancelled Cocomelon and only let her watch Miss Rachel, and she said her first word within the first 3 days of watching. Clearly, parents are able to simply change the channel, but not before leaving Cocomelon a massive amount of dislikes. They've therefore
I thought it was still on like Withdrawal and stuff. Because more you're getting a dopamine hit, more you become addicted to it, and more you're addicted to a certain dopamine, or more you're get addicted to this stimuli, the more you crave it, and once you lose it, your body is no longer. How am I trying to say this? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm just
earn
playing.
the title, the absurdly popular kids show parents hate, and Cocomelon has actually responded to the criticism that explain our shows are not intended to replace outdoor playtime or playdates. They have a place in children's entertainment time, and as with food, exercise, etc., it comes down to each parent to find the right and appropriate balance for their children. Our responsibility.
That last part is true. The last part is true. Comes to a parent also. Help balance. You shouldn't do this shit.
Is ensuring that the quality
You are literally making it addictive to the point where parents don't know what to do, then show it.
of the content that we produce is high and beneficial for the development of a child's cognitive and soft skills. It is worth adding that our social media communities are filled with stories of parents who experience firsthand how Moonbug content helps their children. Cocomelon does have a crazy amount of supporters, but it's obvious that some of them are simply ignoring the downsides. My baby learned the alphabet and numbers from Cocomelon. She may not speak a complete sentence, but she expresses her wants through phrases. But is it Cocomelon's responsibility to ensure that babies are talking? Well, no. People love blaming cartoons and games for raising children, and not the shitty parents that don't step in to stop them from watching so much.
That is
Cocomelon
true.
is actually a really sad symbol of parents giving their children tablets instead of actually parenting and interacting with them. Ultimately, parents are the people who choose how much their child consumes.
That is true. That part is true. Parents do need to regulate their kids' screen times and stuff like that. They shouldn't constantly be showing them Cocomelon. But at the same time, Cocomelon also has this issue where they're creating these huge short bursts of dopamine to kids. That's part of the problem. It's not fully on the kid. There is a big part on parents. Parents should limit kids' screen times and stuff like that. They're kids. Once they get older, screen time's fine-ish, you know. But there's still I still crave back in the old days when I went outside. Now I don't go outside. I don't go outside anymore. Oh boy. At the end of the day, I also gave some advice, and don't listen to me. That's all I gotta say.